The Toronto Raptors beat the Sacramento Kings 122-109. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of the Raptors Rundown. I'm your host, Yousuf, and the Raptors improved to 27-19 on the season and 2-1 on this Western Conference road trip after beating the Sacramento Kings in a game where we almost actually lost to this struggling team. And going into a game where we didn't have RJ Barrett, who we thought we would have, not having Colin Murray-Boyles, who we thought might have came back, and then obviously not having Jacoby Walter and Jakob Poeltl, who are out with much more serious injuries. This felt like a little bit of a game where if we didn't shoot the ball well, obviously coming off such a good shooting performance against the Warriors, we could end up struggling. And that is what happened in the first half. I mean, barring that incredible start to the game, just like the Warriors were shooting well, finding good shots. The Sacramento Kings responded out of the timeout and ended up leading by double digits in that first half. A big catalyst to that success was Malik Monk, who ended up only having 25 minutes tonight, but he scored 17 points. He was 6 for 7 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3. He was absolutely torching us in that first half. We were not able to guard him. He had a couple of plays where I know the floor was slippery, but it looked like a crazy ankle break on Jamal Shead twice, one of which led to an electrifying dunk on the offensive end. So, Malik Monk was torching us. I'm glad that Doug Christie didn't end up playing him as much as he did in that first half. It sort of helped us out. Felt like a little bit of a tanking strategy, but yeah, we were not able to stop him in that first half. The biggest issue being, once again, our offense. I felt like we were unable to break the Sacramento Kings zone, and when you have that issue, right, I feel like it's much less embarrassing when it's against the Los Angeles Lakers or it's against some of these really good teams. Maybe I don't know, one of the top teams in the East. I know the New York Knicks played zone against us at one point. And we're going to be seeing this zone a lot. But when it's the Sacramento Kings doing it to you, it's a little goddamn embarrassing because this is a team that has not been coached well. This is a team that's not very good defensively. And yeah, this is a team that I thought we would be able to use this as an opportunity to learn how to break the zone. But in fact, we struggled against them as well. And I think the biggest issue with the Toronto Raptors, whenever we face the zone, I feel like this team sort of engraves it in their mind that they have to get a 3. It feels like 90% of the time, whenever we are playing a zone defense, we're ending up with a contested 3-point shot. Or even when it's wide open, I don't think they understand that you can get it to the middle of the floor and you can get a good-looking 3-point shot. I don't remember the last time. One thing that we used to do that was really good, that we haven't done much as of late, was hedge Brandon Ingram towards the middle of the floor and have him get the ball and immediately go up for a mid-range shot. Scotty Barnes has been able to break the zone very well by doing that, just getting to the middle and just shooting a midi instead of passing the ball. But I don't see why we don't do that with Brandon Ingram a lot more. I feel like he could get his offense going as well. He's had a couple of slow starts now in the past couple of games that has been picked up by other people playing well, so I think stuff like that could get him going offensively. In the third quarter, it was another incredible game from the Toronto Raptors. Another incredible quarter from the Toronto Raptors. We outscored them by 22 points. We scored 43 points in this third quarter. It is where we absolutely caught fire. Emmanuel Quickly, Sandro Mamukelashvili, even Scotty Barnes hit a 3. So, we finally started shooting the ball well. We stuck with it against the Sacramento Kings. We took this really big lead. The Sacramento Kings tried coming back in that fourth quarter. It scared me a little bit, but we ended up closing it out properly, and the Raptors come home with the win. A couple of notes when it comes to this game. I thought Scotty Barnes was really incredible at getting to his spot in the mid-range game in the mid-range game today. I thought he was really great playmaking, finding open shots for Jamal Shead and Emmanuel Quickly. Sandro Mamukelashvili has really bought into the role as a roller instead of more of a pick and pop guy, and I think he really showed those skills tonight. He only went 3 for 8 from 3-point range tonight, and I feel like he's been shooting around like 6, 7, 8 3-pointers a night. It's crazy, but today he really bought in as a roller, and he finished super well at the rim, which was something that we were missing. I believe we were shooting better at the half. We were shooting better from 3-point range than in the paint, which is insane for a team like us. But yeah, Sandro had a great game again. Brandon Ingram picked it up in the second half once again, just like last game. Jamal Shed, he was missing a couple floaters in this game, which was really frustrating. But again, he picked it up offensively, and I still love how he runs our offense. I think he's one of the most underrated playmakers in the entire league. Off the bench, there were quite a few disappointing players. I mean, Grady Dick still can't hit an open three to goddamn save. It's like, at times it feels like he's better at taking contested shots than three-pointers. And this is what's so frustrating about Grady Dick. It's because if he is hitting even half of these wide open three-pointers, he would be having such a good season. He ended with 11 points on 5 for 12 shooting, but he was 1 for 6 from 3. If he even shot a tiny bit better, he would have had an incredible game tonight. And I feel like this could go for so many of the other games. Sometimes he became way too reliant on the three-point shot. Now he's finding other ways to score, but the three-point shot's still not coming to him. It's so annoying. I feel really bad for him because he's doing good things. On the defensive end as well, he's been getting handsy, getting a couple steals. He had 2 steals tonight, but yeah, it's just really frustrating for Grady Dick, and I think he's running out of time. We have 2 weeks until the trade deadline, so he's running out of time to prove why he should stay on this team. Another player I want to highlight is Jonathan Mobo. He did have a much better second half, and I will go with the pros first. I love his activity. Defensively, he's very solid already, but these are things we already knew about him. He's an athletic person. He just really did remind me of Precious Achiuwa. It was incredibly funny that we got that matchup. I think above all, the touch around the rim is not where it needs to be at all, and it's very disappointing. I actually made a tweet about Jonathan Mobo. Now, it may have been a little bit hasty. I am the biggest campaigner of giving rookies and young players time to develop, but it feels like Jonathan Mobo will not have many opportunities, just looking in the immediate future, to play for the main team. We just drafted Colin Murray-Boyles, who, if you believed in Jonathan Mobo, or if Bob Webster believed in Jonathan Mobo, as some of his fans apparently do, then we wouldn't have gone for Colin Murray-Boyles, because we would have believed Jonathan Mobo would have developed into the role that Colin is currently playing. So I don't think that the front office believes in him as much as some of our fans do. That's number one. Number two, even if he does develop in the G League, I just don't see the role for him on our team. I don't see where he will fit. I don't see him being able to get enough minutes to where he will have to develop in the NBA. And I think eventually we're just going to call a spade and say we wasted that draft pick. I believe that if we had gone so many other different directions, those players would have been able to impact the team a lot more than Jonathan Mobo. We went for a 4-year guy who still needed a lot of developing, and there wasn't much room for him to develop at this point. So, I wish nothing but the best. Obviously, as a Raptor fan, I want to see him develop, but me personally, I don't see a bright future for Jonathan Mobo on this team. From a Sacramento Kings perspective, I feel like it was a very disappointing game for Maxime Renaud, who's had an incredible season. Russell Westbrook did not shoot the ball particularly well, especially for someone who's been shooting it really well this season. Zach LaVine had a great first half, not a very great second half. Dylan Cardwell, great story. I love his story. He was incredible. A little bit of a cornball with the goggles celebration while down 10 with 2 minutes left, but he's a young player, so I'll let it slide. He's just having a little bit of fun, so I will allow it. DeMar DeRozan, who normally torches the Raptors, was absolutely invisible on both ends of the floor tonight, which is really concerning because if the Sacramento Kings want to get anything from DeMar, he needs to be playing at a high level for this very obviously tanking Sacramento Kings team. Last but not least, the only rumor that now apparently has any traction for the Toronto Raptors is Domantas Sabonis. I predicted that was one of the trades that I mentioned in one of those Raptor rundowns where I was talking about the potential trades. But Anthony Davis, the rumors, it's apparently we've lost interest and we're not in contact with them. John Moran we're apparently done with. LaMelo Ball wasn't ever an actual option apparently. So now it seems like if we are going to make a move, it is going to be Domantas Sabonis. Now, how do I personally feel about that? I've already said I would much rather just stand put instead of going after DeMar DeRozan, Domantas Sabonis, for multiple reasons. Number one, I think that we are just straight up overpaying a lot if we go and make a trade for Domantas Sabonis, and that overpaying is for a player that, in my opinion, will not move the needle. I think Domantas Sabonis fits in our offensive scheme beautifully. I think our offense would look really good with Domantas Sabonis in there. However, defensively, I don't believe Scottie Barnes and Colin Murray-Boyles will be enough to hide his defensive deficiencies, especially as a rim protector. I feel like a rim protecting center has been something that we have been desperate for. And if we make a trade for a center, and he is also not a rim protecting center, I don't see the point in making that move. And like I said earlier, people are talking about how Colin Murray-Boyles and Scottie Barnes will be the ones to fill into that role. I just don't see that being enough. And is Colin Murray-Boyles ready to start for this team right away? The lineup would look like Emmanuel Quickley, Brandon Ingram, Scottie Barnes, CMB, and then Domantas Sabonis. And it's up to everyone back home whether you're not what you think the ceiling is for that team. I just don't really see a very high ceiling for a team like that. My other big issue with that is by giving up RJ Barrett, I feel like we're giving up the only player we're interested in trading in that has value. And at this point, Emmanuel Quickley, Jakob Poeltl, Ochai Agbaji, and honestly even Grady Dick have absolutely no value as players at this point. Grady Dick maybe because he's a young player, Ochai Agbaji because he's an expiring contract, but other than that, nothing. If we trade RJ Barrett, we really limit the amount of moves that we can make unless we're trading Emmanuel Quickley plus picks to get off that contract, and then plus pick considering how good the player that we're going to be replacing Quickley with. So I feel like if we keep RJ Barrett and use him for a move that truly moves the needle, I think that is the direction that we should go. Anthony Davis, I was comfortable with trading RJ Barrett in that deal because I truly believe that moves the needle for the Raptors and puts them in another tier in the Eastern Conference and potentially puts us into NBA Finals conversations. Domantas Sabonis does not really do that for me. And we're trading the same package, plus maybe a little less first-round picks, for a guy that I believe is would not make the team as good as Anthony Davis would have. That's just my opinion. We will see over the next up and coming weeks what happens. Apparently, we may get a trade. I saw a very cryptic tweet from Gershon Yabusele about how he is potentially going to move. So, yeah, we will see within the next 24 hours whether something happens, and within the next 2 weeks whether the Raptors decide to make any moves or if they stay pat. With that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, be sure to like, subscribe, comment. Leave in the comments who you guys believe the Toronto Raptors are going to be going after. Make sure to like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next episode of the Raptors Rundown. Peace out.